How was
Startled
it?
me. That was so quick. Sorry.
I just jumped on, so
Yeah, I think I saw. I'm a little bit confused. I'm tired. I have no business being awake because it's ridiculous o'clock over here on my coast. But
ah,
I
yeah.
saw the view where Sotomayor, Justice Sotomayor, was on. I don't know how new this episode. Well, no, it has to be fairly new. And one of the people on the view, I don't even know what you call them, anyways, was like, oh, what do you think about the 22nd Amendment and the possibility of Trump running for a third term? She was like, because it's not enshrined in law. She was like, yes, it is. It's in the Constitution. Was Sotomayor's response. And she was like, it hasn't been challenged. So at present, it is currently the law of the land, since Roosevelt and all that thing going into his fourth term, I believe it was. In any
Right.
case, I was just like, the audacity of these people at this point in time. Like, what are we even talking? Like, are we okay? Like, the Constitution is okay for the Second Amendment, but it's not okay for challenging whether or not a president is allowed to run for a third term. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. It's getting really out of hand and it's terrifying.
I'm pretty sure the Second Amendment's the only thing they care about in the Constitution at this point. So,
Absolutely. And then, well, I've never been happier to be black. I'm always happy to be black. But this whole situation with l- Latin people being, I'm like, well, for a second, there's not going to be a target on my back. I mean, there always is, but you know what I mean,
yeah.
tongue in cheek and all that. But that's insane.
You just have to look like them. So
Yeah, which is
you have to be
that could
Latin
be
even.
friggin' anybody.
Yeah.
Like, how do you determine if their skin is a little bit too tan and their hair is a little bit too dark? Like, I just
I
running
tried.
around
I,
with.
I heard somebody try to clarify. Oh, this is just for immigration stops. I'm like, yeah, that helps when there's however many ICE agents all over the country doing them at
You have
every
immigration stops
interstate
in New York
crossing.
City, and we are not close to nobody's border in New York City. So why are we having these stops? And I'm not trying to carry my paperwork around because I feel like they would just take my shit and, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I'm not American, so I don't want to take that sensitive paperwork everywhere with me. That's insane.
it shouldn't be a thing, but unfortunately it is. I don't know. Like, what's weird too is they didn't. I guess it's not weird anymore, but uh, they didn't even come out. It took Kavanaugh to come out with a concurrence to even understand why they did it, and it's just his concurrence. So, they didn't even issue an opinion. So
Really?
yeah, so Kavanaugh did a concurrence that was kind of confusing, and then there was a dissent. Um, but there was no actual majority opinion, which is just they seem to be doing that a lot lately, which is insane.
It.
You know, Barrett was asked about that about the 22nd Amendment as well, and her answer was fuzzy.
She kind of skirted it too. I did see
Yeah,
that because in the same interview they asked her about Roe as well, and she was kind of like, "Well, like they're not being succinct. They're not standing on business as to what their positions are, and that's very problematic. Whether they're conservative or liberal, I don't care, but at least have some conviction behind what it is that you're doing and voting for and agreeing to or disagreeing to
at
from
this point,
about.
what's crazy is it seems like there's only two Republicans where that's the case, and it's like the two absolutely worst ones, and that's Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey. They seem to be the only ones, and Rand Paul, I guess you could throw in that too, in terms of like, yeah, their principles are in 90% of cases are horrific, but they do seem to have principles and they're sticking by them. But
Not Marjorie Taylor Greene. Absolutely not. As a female, watching her, I was like, maybe she has a little piece of humanity to her. But words are very important. And when she was standing there, she was like, this was ignored from the previous administration, the administration before that, the administration before that. And
well, yeah,
that was
yeah,
intentionally leaving out the Trump administration because at the end of the day, right? Trump is at the top, whether it is women being abused, people being trafficked, or any of the things. So she's a Trojan horse that is willing to take the fall for the Republican Party by pretending to be on the side of the victims. That's what that is. And Massey, I genuinely believe that man. For real, for real. He could be pulling the wool over my eyes, but Marjorie Taylor Greene, Bobo, and who's the next one? Mace. She walked that back really quickly, like disgusting.
I think Massey is a lot like Rand Paul.
Can I ask something?
Anybody else want to chime in? Got a lot of new people.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I would like. What about the pardon of Ghislaine Maxwell?
Well, she hasn't been pardoned yet, right?
Oh, but she's been put in a minimum security prison with visitation hours, so she can leave the facility.
Right.
She can leave?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Be for real.
Yeah, and that was
visitation hours don't mean you can leave. It
That
means
doesn't mean
other
you
people
can leave. That means people can come and check.
No.
I think
I
she
spoke, but
can
she
like
can
go home on a
leave.
limited
You can fact
basis.
check that.
She can go home?
I'm pretty sure she can. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is actual madness. This is real life
Hey,
madness.
before you take it to heart, seriously, go and look it up because it's actual factual information.
No.
I'll
I'm
do
not.
my
I'm saying
fact
it's
check.
madness because she's perjured herself, and she's been convicted of trafficking human beings. Like, what are we talking about? Why is she allowed to
not
be?
just human beings, children.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, you know.
She's not on work release. That's not true. I just looked up. She's not on work release, so she can't leave.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay. Because
Thank you for
I was about to
clarifying
say,
that,
if she
McFly,
could
because that
leave
doesn't
that
make any sense.
building,
I don't think politically. I don't think that's too sound to make at this time. I don't think that would happen.
well, Trump
to be fair,
literally did
what
say,
is
"I
sound
might
when it
pardon
comes to
Ghislaine.
Trump?
I don't. I have the power to." When he was asked about it.
Well, I mean, Elizabeth Holmes isn't allowed to leave, so I don't see why. And she did far less comparatively to.
I guess I was factually wrong on that semantic, but still.
Well, number one, you could just say you were wrong. You don't have to state that you were factually wrong. That's
And
like,
it wasn't semantics. It was.
It was one part of a big claim.
Also, you said on that semantic like you're some fucking scholar from Oxford, bro.
Okay, sorry.
It's TikTok.
You know what, brother? You don't got to be a perfectionist.
Epic, relax.
What college?
It's been a long day.
We
What
don't need to
college
be
do you
contentious yet.
What college do you attend?
What difference does it make?
I didn't
Because
attend
that's the
college.
difference in education. Do you think somebody who doesn't have a high school degree knows as much as somebody who does have a high school education?
It depends on the circumstances.
Education and intelligence are not necessarily directly correlated.
Literally, that quite is the direct correlation.
Absolutely
No,
not. It's
Process
no,
of
it isn't.
intelligence. But
No,
all
it
right,
isn't.
all right. Nah, we're done. We're done. We're done.
If that's the case, right? Trump
Okay.
allegedly graduated from Wharton. Like, let's be so for real.
What is with some people on the left that put on this role of being in academia, making themselves somehow smarter than everybody else if their degree says otherwise?
Because it's
Very strange.
elitism. And
It is. It's an
disgusting.
elitist mindset. It's very strange
Absolutely.
the way they do that. I thought this was the party of the working class.
I actually don't
So
disagree.
I'm
with
at
you. Right?
I'm gonna throw it out there, just so I can get a standing like where everybody's at. Where are people at in the political spectrum here?
Well,
What
this
does
show,
that mean?
I am independent progressive. I think most are leaning that direction, but you guys can speak for yourself.
I need to know what you mean by that because I don't really even know what.
Are you left? Are you right? Are you up? Are you down? Are you conservative? Are you liberal?
Okay, I'm left, and
I'm way down.
I'm left, and I guess progressive. There's so many new terms being tossed out at me. I just want everybody to get basic human rights, which is shelter, food, healthcare, things of that nature, right? Whether you are here documented, undocumented, whatever the case may be, until you have and due process, all of the things that should be inalienable rights.
So I will throw it out there. that guy, I wasn't going to tell him that I went to college. I did go to college.
It doesn't matter, dude.
Yeah, that's why I told him I didn't go to college, just to like screw with his mind a little. Um, because you guys are right. It is an elitist system. It's not right the way
Yeah,
that it's set up. But anyways, we can get into that later.
for real. I mean, I'm also concerned that this man is going for his state dinner with, I almost said the queen, shit, with the king. And he's bringing tech bros with him as his entourage. That gives me pause because they don't work for our government. What are they doing going to a state dinner? Like they were already just at that other dinner. I don't like it. It feels very icky.
Are you talking about Trump
Okay.
today?
If we
Yeah,
can,
Who was
Trump,
there? Who was the
no,
tech bros there?
I'm saying next week he's going
Oh,
for a state dinner with the king in the United Kingdom, King Charles, and he's taking his entourage of tech people with him.
you
What are
know
they doing
who?
there?
Do you know who?
Um, Zuckerberg for sure. I think Cook, Gates, and I don't know if he's going to take Altman from OpenAI or whatever the fuck, wherever he's from. You know that guy,
Yeah.
right? Sam Altman, I think that's his name. I don't
Yes,
know.
correct.
Uh,
so I want to backtrack a little bit, guys, just to how I like to fact check in terms of what we were talking about with Ghislaine. How do you pronounce it?
Ghislaine.
Elaine.
Ghislaine, whatever. I don't know. Her leaving. So at minimum security federal prison camps, like the one where she's housed, typically inmates can leave for work release programs during the day, and there are some reports that she may end up finagling something to where she can actually work from home. So that's where that came from.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's not
uh,
definitive, but that's where that came from.
They better not. They
so I have
better
a
not.
question.
So,
Uh,
anyway,
I have a question. So are we talking about authoritarian as in like a government concept or a social, or like you see yourself as an authoritarian?
well, we are currently
Authoritarian is
living
is a
under
sing.
we're
No,
currently
that's
living under
that's
authoritarianism. So that's what I do like it.
Host,
under
would you mind if I say
under
something really
specific
quick?
ideology, but so what an authoritarian government is called? It's called a tyranny or a totalitarian government. The authoritarian is a social construct, not a political uh
Host, do
concept.
you mind if I say something real quick?
Yeah, dude, go ahead.
Okay, bro. Sam, you
Yeah,
playing mental gymnastics for no reason, my guy.
Basically.
I
I
don't
feel
even
like
know
you
what
got
you
a. I
guys are
feel
arguing.
like you got a thesaurus in your back pocket.
I don't know what you guys
F-
are arguing. I just don't
I don't
take
know
it.
what you got. I don't know what you guys are perplexing and how you are propagating the word ethnish of the yada yadas.
Because I don't
Yeah,
know what he's saying. What do you? How do you feel about authoritarianism?
okay, here's the thing. You
He's
were
just
talking
So
about
asking
what?
for a definition. So maybe I mean, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
maybe I can.
no, I know what the definition is. It says that, but
Well,
it's not a
but
government construct. It's a social.
just one last thing, host, like a
I
legitimate clarification. Um, Authoritarianism is authoritarianism. So when you came in and you were talking about how it was like, is it the governmental construct or the social yada? It's all the same fucking thing. You're asking
It's
what the
not. That
difference
is
between.
not true.
Yes, it
Jesus
Yes,
Christ!
is.
What?
yes, it is.
What? What? Speaking of idiots
Oh
right now, there's a
God, I
very
don't want
clear
to speak
difference.
to a contrarian right now. Like,
Oh
Hey, what's
god,
the difference
he's
between socialism and
filibustering.
communism? What's the difference between socialism and communism? Do you know?
oh, be so for
Yes,
real right now. Oh God,
Do you
what
know?
greater? Oh,
yes, I do, and I can give you a definitive definition.
so
Please,
can I.
please, both of you.
Okay, in what context would you like me to give you a definition?
A socialist government and a
Okay, so
communist government.
there are two types. Okay, government and economic policy specifically, because socialism and communism and free market capitalism and feudalism are economic policies or economic states on a scale. Okay, and so socialism is the implementation of universal policy in social program in a given society. What I
Mm-hmm.
mean by that in a more direct way
No, you're
is,
right.
okay, I knew that I was right. I didn't need you to confirm it.
So I want you.
Socialism
Yeah,
is the
that's not my point. And now tell me about communism. All right, now I
Okay,
want you to draw the distinctions.
so
If you don't mind me,
Further, go ahead. Sorry, host.
no, I was just going to ask Sam why he asked.
Because I'm gonna agree with what there's a distinction between a tyranny, which is what a authoritarian government would be, and just be authoritarianism. It's a difference. There's a
No,
very
there
there's,
isn't.
So tyranny,
there is.
tyranny is a complete lack of freedom in a given circumstance.
That is what.
So, yeah,
So
authoritarianism is a wide range, right? But in
that's
terms
why I
of,
said it's a social construct, kind of political.
Are we still describing
no, it's definitely
socialism?
political. I mean, it's
McFly, we're trying to understand why he's filibustering like he went to McGill when he went to
No, I just want
community
to know,
college.
like, because of
I
the
went to
definition
Morgan
we
State
used here,
University.
are we still using
Exactly.
the definition of
I went to
socialism?
say it's political, but it's not just political.
No, but are we still using the definition of socialism for the end goal still of seizing the means of production from the private sector to the workers?
No, that was never the definition of socialism.
That's not socialism.
Yeah, that's communism.
That's communism.
No,
that's
communism still has that goal, but it's in a
No.
revolutionary cause
Well,
rather
no,
than a non.
socialism
rather
can
than
be
a ra-
drawn out in
No.
a few different ways, though. So
So
socialism.
this is the problem when we keep like defining certain things, because there's definitely a definition of socialism where the
Well,
workers
socialism
still
is just
the
the
means of
people. Socialism is the people owning the means of production, and that can happen in a couple of different ways. Like it can happen in a more extreme way that leans closer to
Right, I'm
communism.
just saying the end goal is still
Or it
where
could
the
be something
workers
as simple
control
as,
the
like-
means of production.
I'm
Okay.
trying to finish, McFly. Can you let me finish?
No, can we just clarify that at the end goal it's still the workers controlling the means of production?
No.
Well, you just said socialism.
Okay,
You want the
McFly,
workers to
let me
control the
explain.
Because communism has a
Host,
centralized authority, and
Host.
so you're talking about actually seizing the means of production.
But you just said
and-
in socialism you want workers to
Host.
control the means of production.
host,
Right. That
do
can
you mind
happen
if
in the
do you mind if
form
I
of-
explain
So
this?
that is
Guys,
still the
guys.
definition. The definition is
The
still where the
host is
workers control the
speaking.
means of production.
Can I just
McFly,
finish
please
what I'm about to say?
relax.
You already have something to say, and you don't care what I have to say. Is that what it is?
No, I said, is that the definition? You
You
said
asked me a
no. Then
question
you
and you
described
didn't
how
give me an
socialism
answer.
is where
All right,
workers
you're not
control the
letting him
means of
speak.
production.
Yo, dude, you're not letting him speak. Like he's trying to assess you, but like you're being just ignorant right now.
Yeah.
You're being a child. I'll be honest.
Okay.
No,
I
I'm
like
just
this
saying,
same guy.
socialism can be as simple as mandatory ESOPs. Are you familiar with ESOPs?
ESOPs, no.
Employee stock ownership plans. So, like, let's say you implemented a policy that said companies over a certain size have to have employee stock ownership plans. That's like a light version of socialism, but that's not communism, right? So, you're talking about a system where you still have a private. How do I phrase it? Maybe Sam can help me out here, but a private means of production, but that's owned by the people rather than the government actually controlling the means. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Host, would you mind if I clarified maybe a little?
Well, I think.
Wait, how is that any different than the stock market? How is that any different than owning
all right,
equity?
I'll-
I'll explain. Can I try to explain this? I'm dying here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean,
Okay.
I don't know what did I say
Oh.
wrong?
Yeah, no.
You
You
didn't
didn't
say
say
wrong.
anything wrong.
Right.
It's that he's not understanding you.
not
It's not that you said anything wrong,
Who's not understanding?
McFly, or that
He understands. He's being obtuse.
Oh, okay.
No,
So-
I genuinely don't understand.
Did you go
That's the
to?
problem.
Okay, I got you. So there is capitalism, and there is communism, right? And anything in between those two things is some degree of socialism. A
No.
great example. Well, no.
Yes.
No, that's a little.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get there.
I'll say why I agree. Hold on. But
No, because you can have regulated capitalism. That's where an individual still owns the means of production, but it's not full blown capitalism. So there's a spectrum. On both
There's
sides.
a little bit of
Wait,
socialism.
no, he's
there.
right. He's right. No, the host is right.
Okay, so what I mean is, okay, in the United States, for instance, we have a free market economy that leans more towards, an unregulated capitalistic hellscape, right? But a great example of a socialistic element that is input into our system is roads. Okay, public roads. That is a socialistic construct. The people own the roads. The people control the roads. Blah 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 blah
which
blah
are
blah.
usually terrible.
I'm sorry,
I
Saucy.
don't think anybody's disagreeing with.
Well, that would
Right,
go
well,
against what the
but
moderator was saying, because that's the state owning the roads. He's saying that in his version of socialism, it's this private partnership where
You have
where
to
the
go market
workers
by
still have a
market.
say.
It's
yeah, the
market by
workers do
market.
have a
So-
say.
Like,
They vote.
So the
Like, you could be,
distinction
you
can be
could be a-
defined.
when you can be more socialist in terms of like when it comes to healthcare, for instance, right? You can feel like government should control the entire means of production, but when it comes to iPhones, you don't, right? So you don't have to necessarily be consistent across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna,
it changes depending on what you're specifically discussing. But the answer to your question, McFly,
Can I,
is the,
can I
the
ask a question?
huh?
Yeah, go ahead, Saucy.
Sorry, I was going to ask it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was going to ask, do you think that it is better for the government to run healthcare?
Oh, absolutely.
So you assume you think the government would be better about like producing goods, distributing the goods than a free market, right?
Well, I guess the answer to your question indirectly would be the following. We don't have to necessarily do it in the way that you're thinking socialized medicine should run, but charging people to stay alive is insane.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's where my Saucy, before you go on that tangent, because I really want to hear it, but just to make this clear, my argument stops at the following. Schmurder is wrong, therefore it's wrong, right? Charging people to stay alive is wrong, and therefore it is wrong. So when I say things to people like charging people for medicine is wrong, it doesn't mean that I think that we should run our socialistic healthcare a specific way. It just means that we just shouldn't charge people for healthcare. How we do that is up to the people. We would do it
But like,
by
how
first saying,
else would you do it without the government like taking over industry?
yeah, I totally get you, and I can answer your question. In order to first answer your question, to first like develop a plan in which we don't charge people for healthcare, we have to say, okay, we're not going to do that, right? Like for instance, any crime that happens, people say, okay, we're not going to do that, and then if somebody does it, then they say, okay, here's what we're going to do if you do that, right? The consequences for an action are never developed until after that action is taken. But in order for anything to progress, you have to make a determination that you're not going to do something. So my determination, anytime I have a conversation with anybody about healthcare, the base starting point is it is wrong to charge people to stay alive. And then once
Saucy, it'd probably be helpful if we knew. It'd probably be helpful if we knew where you stood, so we can kind of like go back and forth a little.
No, I'm just not for authoritarianism, so I wouldn't want the government to dictate.
Harry, can you mute
that people
yourself?
can't get paid.
Okay, that is so
all right.
loud.
Now I understand a lot more what the prompt means. Now that I've been here for a little bit. I was originally
Yeah,
coming
I
up
just,
here.
I just,
So somebody talking? No. I was originally coming up here.
Yes,
I
there's-
was under the impression that this was like a Third Reich type of like debate type of thing where I had to go up against a bunch of fascists, but
Whoa, no.
no,
no,
I mean, that'd
you're
be
all
fun.
on my side.
Kidding.
right?
Hey, I wanted to hear what Saucy was saying though. Saucy,
Yeah.
finish your thought.
yeah, if you don't mind. Like I think that I think it's logical to be consistent. So if you think that the government kind of making law or dictating the production, the distribution of medical, healthcare, whatever, is a good thing because it's going to do a better job. It's going to help more people, make it more cost efficient. Then I think that would apply to any good. It's not like medical goods have some special thing about them.
So for me, it
They're
comes
the
down
services.
it comes down to demand, right? So when you're talking about needs versus wants, when you have a need, your demand is automatically astronomical, meaning that in that given market, if it were left unregulated, that company could charge whatever they wanted because, so, the example of that is food, housing, healthcare, things like that, right? So they could charge whatever they wanted. So you're talking about monopolization. You're throwing off the supply-demand curve.
That doesn't take effect with the American healthcare system.
Can I finish for a second? I'm tired of you interrupting me, man.
You haven't talked in 5 minutes.
I know, and the last time I talked, you interrupted me, so let me finish.
And then I'll get a chance to respond.
Great. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Saucy. But anyway, where was I? So in terms of needs and wants, right? So that's why I think that the government should be involved in healthcare, because you can't keep the cost down with the free market in that circumstance. That's what I was saying.
Do you think that
and that's why we need to do it? And that's another. I'm just saying real quick. That's another reason why I think that as Americans, as Americans who believe in democracy, we need to fall back on socialism.
Do you think food is essential?
No, I would say so. Yeah.
Of
But
course.
we should apply that to food, right?
We
Of
do.
course.
We have like in California, we've got WIC, we've got food stamps nationally. We do that with food.
We have that in New York as well.
The issue that I see,
you would
right?
want
So Saucy, I just want to clarify one thing I said, right? Or I guess two things. The first thing is, I don't have a problem with private entities being involved in the healthcare industry. I have a problem, or in research or anything like that. I have a problem only with the following statement. This is where my argument for any kind of medical system begins. All right, this is it. This is the starting point. Okay, there's no hidden. Okay, ready?
Let's wrap it up quickly.
Can we land this plane, please?
I want to hear Saucy.
It is wrong to charge people for medicine.
All right, you
Period.
said that already.
Well, no, but I
that's
have
it.
to make it clear. So,
I mean, I get what your point is. I mean, I think to a degree we all don't like the idea of it. I think that what you're advocating is authoritarianism, a form of it. You're saying, hey, people should not get paid for doing labor or work.
No.
Well, he just said
no,
that someone
that's not what I said. I did
No one
not
said that.
say that people shouldn't get paid. I said people shouldn't get charged.
Well,
There's
I
a
mean,
difference.
if I work hard and make a pharmaceutical drug and I want to sell it, you're saying it's illegal.
No. Just to
Well,
clarify,
yeah,
Saucy,
that's fine. Please
I am
clarify. I'm not trying-
no. I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm saying it is wrong for you to extort the means of people wanting to remain alive. So if you look at me and you say I spent $20 billion on R&D for this drug, right, over the last 20 years of development, whatever,
Yeah.
right? And the cost of my R&D and everything, and my break-even price is going to be $5 a vial. I don't know. I'm coming up with a random number,
Sure.
right?
You charge some
$5.
exorbitant price.
Right. So to break even on my R&D over the last 20 years, it's going to cost me $5. If you tell me that you're going to charge somebody $300 for something that you break even at $5, I absolutely do think you should go to jail, you evil bastard. Not you.
But,
Just
yeah, I
saying
get
in
your point.
general.
But like
Right.
again, you're to stop that, you would have to enact a law that says, hey, this private company cannot contract with a private person to charge a price. You'd have to have.
So,
Yeah,
like, what other
Working.
countries do?
You just have cost caps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
like-
just have a cost
that,
cap.
that is
And-
that is authoritarianism to a degree. You're saying
No, it
Free
isn't.
well, I mean, technically, a law that
The
prevents
extent
you
that
from.
like market regulation is authoritarianism.
And
Yeah,
you
I-
think
right, and
price
by that
controls
logic-
don't cause shortages. Like you think?
yeah, I
that's
mean,
not-
I think Mifly is right. You talk about price caps. You're talking about shortages. You brought the supply and demand curve. That's like
just economics
Well, that's-
101
that's
really.
exactly why
you
you have
also
to-
you also noted somehow that because we have a free market in the healthcare system, we have a monopoly, and that's why prices are priced through the roof.
we have no.
No,
I wouldn't
that's
call
not
the
why.
American
No,
healthcare
that's
system
not what I
a
was
free
saying. I
market
didn't say
system.
we
I'd
made
call it a
monopoly.
controlled system where
So
the government
McFly.
overregulates and allows like 5 insurance companies to run amok.
Yeah.
Where obviously
Okay,
they can price whatever they want because they can price the government whatever they want. That's why prices are exorbitantly high. Right? If
McFly.
you price the government whatever you want,
McFly.
the government's going to pay for it regardless.
McFly.
The prices can be anywhere.
McFly.
Well,
So
what
government
I was saying
involvement
is
has definitely.
when I say
Are you listening to a
monopolization,
word I say, or like you're cutting me off?
I can't tell when you're done. You keep stopping and then going.
No,
So go ahead.
I'm noting that
He's
the
doing it
American
again.
healthcare system and health insurance is not a free market system. Government is heavily involved, heavily regulating it. They don't even allow insurance companies to go over state lines.
Yeah,
So,
life's not black and white. We know that it's a
well, you're
complicated.
saying there's a laissez-faire market in health insurance and healthcare. As the
There
government's
is in some
involved,
aspects of it,
there's like
yeah.
only 5 insurance companies heavily regulated by the government, really no competition because of the government.
Well, no.
How can you tell us that's a free market?
The reason
5 is more
that
than
there's no
most markets.
Okay, McFly. Do you have a family?
Yeah,
Yes.
No. I don't want to do that.
Oh, no. I don't mean it like that.
No, we're not getting personal here. So in terms of like what I was talking about with monopolization, right? I was talking about demand. They have it's monopolization forces because demand's so high because it's a need. But 5 companies taking up a market is more than Republicans typically like in a market. They are from the Chicago School of Antitrust Thought, and so in most markets they're okay with 2 or 3, which is why you only see 2 or 3 in most markets like Lowe's, Home Depot, blah blah blah, right? That's Republicans doing. And so when they come in and say they want more competition, I would say, well, why wouldn't they want more competition in these other markets as well? Why are they just
Well, that school would also say that the more there is government involvement in the market and the more regulation, the more there's going to be a cost to compete in the market, and the people that have the money are going to be able to buy up the market.
Yeah,
Hence
that's
why there's less competition.
That's why, like, what do you think Walmart lobbies?
there is more competition in healthcare than there is in most markets?
Well,
We're talking about health insurance right now.
I know.
We're really
Health
talking
insurance, there's more competition than there is in most major markets in this country right now.
I also think that it's very important to state the following. So my previous comment was not about personal anything. It was just to state the point that our healthcare costs are prevalently set based on how much we will pay to not die. And that's a really important thing to point out. The reason that we have a lack of competition in the healthcare industry, and McFly does make some good points, because there is a problem with the fact that health insurance companies cannot, compete over state lines. But the biggest problem we have,
They can't compete over state lines now. That was part of that was fixed under Obamacare.
Yeah, they actually do compete over
oh,
state
they
lines.
can, Shelley? Oh, my apologies. But
Those-
nonetheless,
those
I think
plans were
the
synced up.
big, sorry?
Those plans were synced up nationally when
Okay.
the Affordable Care Act was passed.
Okay,
Correct.
I just wanted, okay, thank you for clarifying that. I think the biggest problem that is like skipping over basically any conservative's head, right, when they discuss this kind of thing, is they don't realize, or just anybody in general, honestly, it's not a political thing. People will pay anything so that so that their life does not end, or that their family's life does not end.
That's not true
And-
at all.
What?
Uh,
I sure as hell
what?
would pay anything. Are you
Well,
all
that-
right?
it goes to
that's
what-
not my point. Can I explain the reason I'm saying that?
Yeah, go ahead, Shelley.
I mean, to a degree, yeah.
Okay, so like I recently had the best health insurance, like through my husband and I's job, and my child's job, to protect our family, and he lost his job in May, so we lost all of our health care that we were paying for. So then we had to go straight to Medi-Cal through the state of California, which is very hard to qualify for, but it's been a nightmare. It's been a nightmare for my family.
You have to make under 45,000 in California.
wait, you're saying
no.
you're saying
We were
the
paying-
program sucks?
We were paying, and stop, we were paying like over $1,000 a month for our health insurance, but we couldn't afford the COBRA after the fact he lost his job. There's a lot of things that people don't understand how things particularly work. I think it goes state to state depending on where you're at.
It is
One
state
thing
to state.
one thing I would put to our conservative.
I gotta get to bed, guys.
I
It's
want to
1
send
a.m.
you up, something you aren't. But one thing I would put to you is
I'm a libertarian. So.
or whatever it is. But why is it that we are the only, or I should say that the private sector is more involved in our healthcare system than they are in any other civilized country in the world, and yet we have worse outcomes. Why is that?
Because there is and I'll answer this for a second and I'll give it to Saucy, but it's because we are living under a cronyist system where the government is involved and partnered up with the private sector, which is the worst of both worlds. I'll admit that, the UK or other socialized healthcare.
What would be the alternative solution?
The alternative would actually be a free market system, a system that we had prior where healthcare prices were actually cheap, where you had
10% of the country didn't have health insurance.
No, so like back in the day, we had a system where you paid for a catastrophic health insurance, right? So this is in regards if you get cancer or you have something that obviously is the worst case scenario, and prices were cheap. You paid like $5 a month for your catastrophic health insurance, and then you paid out of pocket for a doctor's visit, and prices were there. You knew exactly what you were being priced, rather than when you go in now and you see no prices and you just say, "Well, the insurance company's going to figure it out." That's not a free market.
Well, yeah, but unfortunately, what's unfortunate about that is that all these big companies now, like United Healthcare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, all this stuff, they're big conglomerate like companies that have investors, that have board of directors, and they're trying to figure out how to do like what they're supposed to be doing. I know this for a fact.
Do you think they like that system?
It is unfortunate for people here in the U.S. And now here I am having a really good insurance, and now I have state insurance.
So when is everyone rising up against the machine?
What?
So when is everyone going to rise up against the machine? So
I'm never rising up against the machine. Just
the large corporate. Do you think the large corporations like this? They obviously do. They're making tons of money off of this. 100%. So like they are the ones pushing for more regulation, more red tape.
No, they're not.
And so what we're trying to say is
who's going to compete with them?
Private business.
I used to work with healthcare lobbyists. They're not looking for more regulation.
Why do you think Walmart?
Well, I can tell you that the pharmaceutical companies.
Why do you think
companies
like
are paying the doctors?
For more regulation.
The pharmaceutical companies are paying the doctors to push their medications.
In truth, I think you're also conflating like health insurance.
Want what you guys want. They want what you guys want because they don't have to cover people with pre-existing conditions. They don't have to cover people who really need it. So they want what you guys want, where they have those cheap options for people who are healthy, but the people who really need it get screwed and left on the street. And that's what we.
And this is why we should have a system where we have catastrophic insurance, and we shouldn't have everything covered. It's like when you go. It's like when you go fill up. You don't have car insurance, and every time you fill up your car, it's covered by your car insurance. That's not a logical system.
Yeah, we have mandatory car insurance in California.
But you can't conflate that with health.
You're not understanding the point. That's a red herring, because I'm not saying we need a mandate. I'm saying we have a system where, like, let's say you have car insurance. That you think your car insurance should cover every time you fill up your car?
Yeah, but you're talking about
life.
You're getting car insurance for a crash. You're getting car insurance for when you have to spend over $2,000 on a fix.
Hold on, guys. Shelly McFly, let Queen chime in.
But you're talking about an inanimate object that can be replaced compared to a human being, which cannot be replaced.
No, we're talking about bringing prices down. We're talking about not messing up the system that we have in place and lead to government controls and rationings.
You talk about the incentives.
We let the market work and let prices fall. What if I told you we could have the system that we have right now with the doctors that we have right now and the care that we have right now, but prices were very cheap? Would you be in favor of that? Would you be in favor of a healthcare system that was affordable?
McFly, would it help all the homeless people on the streets? The people that
why do you think? Of course it would. Wouldn't cheap.
I don't agree with it because I come from a country with socialized healthcare, so no.
No, I was asking him, would it help all the people on the streets here in America that are homeless, like me here in LA
socialized medicine would,
Diego, that have mental health problems, drug problems, and they're
Yo,
actually
I got a solution, yo. Just Just make healthcare free and not a commodity.
Hey, I'm gonna bounce.
Well,
Easy
that's
solution.
Canada.
And you're also talking about
Check.
people that refuse care. I mean, we're talking about people that are choosing to, and I'm not saying in your situation, obviously.
Have you ever worked with the homeless people before?
Yeah, I'm about to say.
That's a big generalization.
I worked with them for 5 years. and
I
can
go
tell you
on the
that
streets every weekend.
I can tell
And
you
the
that
majority
even
of the
people-
studies suggest that most
Sly,
people on the
Sly, can I
streets
explain something to you?
are struggling with I don't know if I.
Oh, for fuck's
Oh,
sake.
that's a
So-
bunch of bullshit.
So what happens is people tell you that they want to be on the street and they're refusing care, right?
I
When you
know
are on the
about it.
street. Hold on, Shelly, let me finish. When you are on the street, every night is complete trauma, especially if you're a woman, because you're talking about. I talked to some women on the street that were talking about like nightly, sometimes weekly sexual assaults, and so you're talking about nightly trauma, and especially for men, what that turns into is it sort of like tackles their ego. It turns into like a machismo, right? And so they'll tell you up front, "Oh yeah, I chose this life. I love it. I don't need care." Blah blah blah. Build a relationship with them. And a year or two in, I promise you that person will tell you otherwise, that no, they hate the situation. They don't want to be in it. Just because somebody tells you that outright doesn't mean that that's the case.
Right,
I
no,
just think
I'm
it's
not,
unfair
I'm not
that-
saying
I
that.
think
I'm not talking about in your anecdotal situation, and I'm not
It's not
talking about
anecdotal.
and when her stance it is. That's not what I'm talking about.
On whose
I'm-
stand?
I'm talking about in your personal life that you have bravely told us. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the majority of what studies suggest is that a lot of people, the majority that are homeless, refuse care. I don't know if I can say D
Can I ask
addicts, if
where
you
you're
get my
getting your
drift, but
statistics from?
they are struggling. They're
Can
struggling
I
with
ask
addiction.
you where you're getting your stats from?
That's what I want to know as well, please.
Sure, I'll bring it up for you.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
because I'm
Hello?
telling you that I go out every weekend.
Yeah,
I
thank
take
you.
care of women, men, children. Yes, some of them are addicts, but you know what? It's because of bad lives, and I do not judge anybody.
Permanent supportive housing has a 97% recidivism rate. People that actually get put into housing, they don't leave. Does that tell you that
I have a
people want to
question.
be on the street?
Wait, after that, can I have a question?
Yeah.
Sober living houses,
Okay.
they're amazing around here.
Okay,
Yes,
can I ask my question? Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a Jew, right? Why do people make fun of me?
That's a little bit of a tangent.
I'm just saying, cause like people throw books at me and everything. Like it's so mean. Like, how do I make them stop?
I mean, that's not nice. I don't know what to tell you. Bullying sucks. I'm sorry you're going through that.
Like you want to hear what they call me? You just want me to keep the things to myself. Okay, it's really sad.
Don't say anything on the live because we'll get banned. But
Oh, it's nothing really bad. It's nothing like bad. Like no cussers in there.
How
you
old are
said,
you?
you said in the comments that you wanted to talk about the Bible.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to. That's what I was talking about. Like because people say like in the Bible that the Bible doesn't like Jews, and they like make fun of me. So I don't know how that is.
Brother, this is not the conversation that we're having, so...
What are you? I'm asking him. What are you?
Well, look, I am. That's obviously not what we were talking about. But I'm very sorry that you're going through
Okay,
that.
I'm
It's
sorry.
not a
I'm
good
sorry.
thing to be going through, and
Okay.
that's I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. That's not good. People shouldn't.
Oh,
do
by
that.
the way, I don't like Jews. I was the person that bullies Jews.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You want to know what?
He was just a troll.
I saw that coming.
I know it.
because-
I know it
I
off
should've-
the.
I should've
I
ended
know
it
it off the
earlier.
rip. Yeah, I know it, man.
I saw that coming from, oh my God, I'm this and I'm getting bullied. Man up and sort your bullying out at your big age. Like, be so for real right now. Like,
Oh.
come on.
Yo, can I-
Girl.
Can
This is
I
all, by the way,
respond?
all of that is Netanyahu's fault. The inflamed anti-Semitism that you just saw.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Thanks.
really quick. So I'm out here in California.
Yeah.
And
Hi.
hey, how's it going?
Hey.
I heard the one guy use the word anecdotal, which is, you anecdotes are part of history. So, everyone has an experience. Well, you want to call it anecdotal, that's just crazy. But that being said, I was homeless from 2000 December of 2019 till February of 2000 March 2020 actually. And great job, great place to live, San Diego, California.
That's where I live. I live in San Diego.
Then yeah, I South Park, North Park, right?
Okay,
Just
yeah.
right on Balboa, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Gorgeous place, right?
A lot of homeless. A lot of homeless.
Yep. My roommate has a freaking psychotropic meltdown. Like he stopped taking his meds to the point where they had to ship him back to New York. And I'm like, and I know he's coming back, so I'm like, dude, if I don't get out of here, someone's gonna get hurt. So I put all my stuff in storage. Got a brand new Honda, 2019 Honda. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna sleep in this car for I don't know how long until I can figure this out. While I'm homeless, I get diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Jesus.
Wow.
Okay. So we're not all on drugs. A lot of us would, you know, I'm good now, you know, but it's just when I hear people say things, when I hear people, and I'm sure you're an empathetic, or there are empathetic people out there who don't believe all homeless people are bad, but it's a wicked world we live in, you know. I mean, I moved to Mexico so I could afford to live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This was in March of 2020 to October 2020. Then I went back to Maryland because that's where my family is to get all the treatment for the prostate cancer. But now, you know, everything's cool. Got all my stuff together. Got all my benefits from the VA and my SSI, and I'm retired. Everything's cool. Can't complain. But
good to hear.
But there's always that 4 or 5 months that turn into 2 years, turns into 6 years, I met a guy 2 days ago. Slept in his car for 11 years, man.
Jesus.
11 years.
Yeah.
This is the richest country in the world, dude. I'm talking about monetarily, not spiritually. Okay.
It's unfortunate because I had to go to. I went to a rehabilitation center downtown in San Diego and got myself together. But I remember walking around and I remember seeing people like in wheelchairs, like just in the middle of the street in certain parts of San Diego, just like humped over. Like, I swear it looked like a zombie apocalypse. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
You should go to
like these people are frozen. They're frozen.
You should go to LA.
I've been to LA many a times.
And you know how bad that is.
Oh yeah, but I've seen it like just as bad in both places.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
A thing. People are struggling because there is no light at the end of the tunnel at this point in time. Like people are paycheck away from disaster.
Some of these crazy stats too. So like boomers are going homeless at an alarming rate. Millennials are dying at an alarming rate.
Yes, it's like, oh my god, it's terrifying.
Well, the drugs and the fentanyl and the things that are being put into
it's not just that; it's just that they're offering themselves from the the stress of having to live.
A lot of suicides. It's a lot of like colon cancer, which can be attributed to diet, but also stress.
Sure.
There's heart conditions.
Yeah, but if you're homeless too, I mean, me being a nurse, like I can tell you right now, half the people that I treat on the streets, you can only comfort them. You can't do anything else. You know, they don't have health insurance. They don't have anything. They don't have a home.
One of the things those two things have in common, like the millennial thing and like the homeless thing, is like these are people. Like as a millennial, I can tell you that every other generation out there hates our guts, and yet we are struggling more than any other, right? So you don't get any empathy there. And it's the same thing with the unhoused, right? These people are just struggling, and yet everyone else tries to find an excuse why they're struggling other than they're not doing enough.
Well, I would say, I think that, like, for instance, the state of California, they have people working around the clock trying to figure this out, and they're getting paid six figures to figure it out every year. Newsom has a plan, a 10-year
That's not
plan.
how it works in California. So I live in California, and I used to work for homeless nonprofits. And so, yeah, you do have in any field, you have consultants that are making a lot of money. But what's happened here in California is we actually have built a lot more housing, a lot more permanent supportive housing, affordable housing, you name it. It's just that the amount of homeless coming online is so astronomical that they can't
Right.
keep up with housing. So right now they're refocusing on rapid rehousing, which is basically getting people money right away so they don't get evicted, because that's sort of a way to stop the bleeding. But it's just the bleeding is so heavy, and it's nationwide. It's not just California. We
Yeah,
just have more
it
people.
is.
And so that's why you're seeing that.
And not only that, I think what you have to realize, if I'll tell you another little story. I'm standing on 25th and Broadway. I'm at the Shell station, and I'm getting gas. This guy pulls in in an SUV. It's got Minnesota tags on it, and he's got three kids in the back. His wife's in the front. And he gets out. He walks up to me. He goes, "Hey, man, could you do me a huge solid? Could you help me feed my family?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, no problem." So I went to I don't know, one of the fast food joints right around the corner. Actually, it was Umberto's, and I bought.
Yeah, that's popular.
Yeah, so I went bought a lot of Mexican food, and like $30 worth and something like that, anyways, and just gave it to him. And I'm like, "You guys just getting here?" He's like, "Yeah, we just." And I'm like, and he drives off. He thanks me, shakes my hand, and I'm thinking to myself, man, like, what are they going to do tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like what?
Horrific. The fact that we could just leave people like that while people with billions of dollars buying God knows what is just sickening.
The fact that we're
Yeah.
about to have the world's first trillionaire, it is nauseating, because what do you mean? Nobody earns $1 billion without stepping on other people. Any
Big.
billionaire
Even
is
if you have
morally
like 10
bankrupt.
million. Let's say you have 10 million, you've got a nice other property, and you've got let's say you've got 8 million in a retirement. Why do you need that money?
You
Like,
you actually you do not legitimately
Just
do
to hoard
not.
it. Just to hoard it.
Yeah.
Hoarding anything is like a sickness, and hoarding money is insanity. Having $1 billion is insane. I don't care who you are. You are morally bankrupt if you have $1 million, whether it's Great British pounds,
$1 million?
USD, $1 billion. You are
Oh.
morally
It's like,
bankrupt if you
It's
have
like
$1
Tupac
billion.
said. Tupac said he doesn't understand how you can be a good person and be a billionaire at the same time.
You can't.
Yeah, he also said
I
he
can
al- he
say
also-
this. I can say this. My husband works in like the fintech type company, and like we were working in that for like since 2007, and he's been trying to take his company public. It went public, but we've never really got to where we wanted to be. It's been like a hard road with getting investors and doing what we're doing, and then all of a sudden it failed, and then they just fired him. So, so for us, it's like, oh, we just hold on to the stock, which is pennies right now. So sometimes people that become millionaires or billionaires comes from people that were in like big companies. They get investors, they get their stock, and then stock goes to NASDAQ, and then it hits really big, and then they just have that money.
That's just
So-
that's minuscule in comparison to the people that are actually like at the 1%. It's not people that are just casually getting
You guys-
a windfall.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if ours went really big, then I would be in a really good position. But yes, would I help people? Absolutely.
All right, guys, I gotta call it. I gotta get running, but I'll be back tomorrow night. I'll see you guys. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. I didn't even get to say nothing. Shoot.
Sorry, man. I'll be back tomorrow, though. I apologize. I know it's rough times out there, everybody, so stay safe.
But before you go, I just want to say
Yeah.
everything y'all alluding to. That's why the world needs socialism. Bless.
Sounds good. Take it easy, guys.